Welcome to 5 Minutes, your quick dive into the wide-ranging world of insurance, technology, and leadership. I'm Miguel Edwards, and I'll be your guide as we explore these topics that are transforming not just the insurance industry, but the business world at large. Along with sharing observations I've made over the span of my career in insurance, technology, and operations, I'll be chatting with some of the brightest minds in business and leadership. Whether you're a seasoned executive or a rising star, an industry expert, or just curious about how technology is revolutionizing insurance, this is your perfect spot for your weekly dose of insights. This is 5 Minutes. Let's talk a little bit more about this concept of treating life as a game.
Yeah, so you see when you like baseball, what is your favorite sport?
I do. Yeah, baseball is my favorite sport.
Yeah, so let's say baseball. You're watching a game and you're seeing someone that is doing like a move and you're telling them, but why is doing that person, right? Like, you know 100% how that player should do that play. And you get so upset when the player doesn't do the play, how you thought, right? So that is part of living it as a game, because if we see as a game our life, then we take those emotions. You see, for the player that is within the game, he has all the emotions going on through his head. He can know, he might be reacting to something, but the spectator is not. The spectator can see everything very clear, right? Like what should be done, you can see all the moves. So that's what I see when we see our life as a spectator. It can eliminate that judging, all this stuff that comes from emotion, and just let you figure out answers that will be more, not logical, but also like with the heart instead of, right? I'm missing the right word for this, but basically seeing the life as a spectator. So like that, your decision and your awareness is going to be also like, even like I go back to arguing in couples. It happens so often. If you really can take yourself out of the argument, let's say arguing, and just like put yourself out. And then you see the argument, like imagine some cartoons they are fighting, right? Instead of you or the other person. If you just see them as a cartoon, you're even going to laugh about it, because that's really what it is. So it helps us to make decisions when you need to make decisions. It's almost like to win your battles. Not everything needs a fight. Not everything, pick your battles, and then you put all your strength, all your, resources that you have into that battle that you want to win.
So let me close with a final question, and this one's going to be a little bit self-serving. I am an aspiring author. And I reading your book, I was mesmerized. It's incredibly well researched. You reference a lot of philosophers, and you've got frameworks that you've taken obviously a lot of time to design. Yeah. What advice do you have for an aspiring author? Because I do feel like that's something that I want to be able to do. How would you coach me in terms of some first immediate steps that I can think about, kind of putting my thoughts to paper as you have?
I think everybody has a story, right? So if you want to do it, like that's the first step. And I will say, don't do it for the reader in a sense, do it like for you. Things that, let's say, you feel you were enjoying delivering the message, and follow really, like there is a lot of techniques that people have about writing, but it will become almost as AI, right? If you follow all these techniques to the T, you're just going to sound like everyone else that are following the same techniques, right? So I always say it's good to learn so you know what is out there. But at the end, the authenticity is what's going to make the difference. The authenticity of that, or whatever it is that you want to write. And then based on that, there are different. So when I was looking like for a publisher, I have my manuscript almost done. I literally wrote the whole manuscript done. So I would suggest sometimes to have a lot of it done, even if it's wrong, doesn't have to be right. Then they help you edit it, and they'll help you like if you have things redundancy. So they will help you with that work. But I feel like if you start too early in the process, then some of the part of you will be left out, because now you're going to start following some stuff. So I really think you have to work on your story without thinking like, just write. Take a habit every day in the morning or whatever you feel creative. Take a pen with you or a phone. Like if you get an idea when you're driving, just put, a little title and send it to you, because you will forget. And I sleep sometimes with a note by my bed. if in the middle of the night you wake up with something, you can write it down. Of course, the next day, because I'm writing half asleep, I can barely understand what I wrote. But you hear my point, is to keep those notes.
Thank you for joining this episode of 5 Minutes. If you've enjoyed our discussion, we'd love for you to share it with anyone else you think might find it interesting. Also, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening on and hit that bell to stay on top of the game with our practical 5-minute episodes. We look forward to seeing you again next week.